Hey guys, Andrew here with Independent Verification, and today I'm going to be talking about the Gulfcoast Robotics screw-in thermistor. Now, this is a standard Mark 8 hotend. This is what you'll find on your Creality Ender 3, Ender 3 Pro, CR10 3D printers. Usually, they use what's known as a glass bead thermistor. However, this glass bead is prone to failure. It's very sensitive. It's easy to break. And it's usually held in with this retaining screw. And that retaining screw goes into the heater block, and the thermistor goes in the hole down there. However, there is a different way to achieve the same result with a 100K thermistor. Gulfcoast Robotics has this nice little concept where instead of putting the retaining screw in to hold a glass bead thermistor, it just has a thermistor glued into a hex bolt that would just screw into where the retaining bolt would normally go. This is really nice. It makes the whole setup much cleaner. It's not as prone to falling out, and makes the whole setup a little bit more robust. On top of that, we have a quick disconnect. This quick disconnect is going to come in handy because if the thermistor should go bad, we should be able to replace it in a matter of minutes, not having to route the cable all the way through the loom and then into the control box down here again, but instead just unscrew that, unplug that, plug a new one in, screw the new one in. Now these are a little bit more expensive than your glass bead thermistors. This retails for about $9 on Amazon at least. But I would argue that the simplicity and the robust nature of this design is very much worth the money. So right here, I've just got it set to an arbitrary number, and this hasn't been PID tuned on this machine. It's just kind of bouncing around. But I can tell you this much. It's, as far as I can tell, just as accurate as the glass bead thermistor without any real modification to the firmware. This is, once again, a 100K thermistor, and it's the same type that these glass beads are. It's essentially a glass bead thermistor held into a hex bolt with ceramic glue. So I've got my heat gun here, or my temperature gun, and if we look on it, this got to remember metal is a reflective surface, which can skew results from these things. We're in the 134 range, and that's about where we need to be. Getting it actually like spot on accurate with this particular temperature sensing gun is a little bit cumbersome. But from what I can gather, setting it to just an arbitrary number, it seems to be spot on for what I need it to be. So, for something that just screws into the hot end of an Ender 3, I would argue this is a very nice upgrade. So, hopefully, if you were looking at this and you weren't sure whether or not it was going to fit, whether it was going to work, I can assure you now that, from what I can gather, initial results though, it seems to be doing fine.